Hi everyone. ASMR earrings. Yes. Today's video I give a little bit of some life thoughts, life advice maybe, advice in general, whilst doing this little makeup look with the hair as well. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it brings you peace, calm, and maybe a new way of thinking. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna start with hair first. As you can tell, it's a little bit wet. And this is because in order to do a really nice slick back bun, you kind of need to wet your hair first, because then it makes all of your little tiny flyaways just stick together. So we're gonna start with that. Okay, right. I'm gonna do one in the middle. Did I nail it first? Try not really. I have also been a little bit MIA, as usual, but I'm back for today's ASMR. Get ready with me. And I also wanted, I'm just gonna like spew my thoughts at you that I've had this week, because I've joined Substack. If you do want to follow me and read my thoughts, literally it is, my username is Little Red with Style, which is the same as my Instagram as well. And I called it that because my Instagram, Little Red with Style, there we go. It's where I post my fashion videos. As you can tell, I love my fashion. So I thought, let me actually make an Instagram dedicated to my fashion and my styling, which is, I also post some videos on here as well. With that in mind, there we go. Cool. Stunning. And the thought I had yesterday. Brush this back. Bear with, I just have to concentrate to do this bit. There she is. I'm coming back to my thought, I just need to concentrate for this bit. So I go, oh my god. Ow. Okay. Slightly Okay, I'm just gonna get these stubborn, can you see these stubborn hairs? Just gonna... There we go, that's a bit better. Now we're going to put it into a little bun, which is just the classic twist. And spin. And then we leave that there. Cool, I'm happy with that. Now on to skin prep. And we're going to go back to the thought. So, my first Substack post was about, I called it brat season. I think because it has nothing to do with brat season, but it just reminded me of something, which was, I think we're as people, especially in the day and age that we're at now, because we can access people's lives, or a version, right, of people's lives online so quickly. Literally in seconds, I can know about somebody's life. But then, this is why I say moments of somebody's life, because what we choose to post are highlights of our life. It's not what's really happening, behind closed doors, because, again, nobody wants to share that. Right? So because of that, we tend to post like the best versions of our lives, or the best moments. And what then that can do to other people watching it is think that this person's life is just perfect, that everything is going right for them, that they get what they want and all of that, which for the most part it might be true, Again, we don't know that person's lives. We think we do, which is what keeps us hooked onto them. But we don't actually know anything that's going on, really, unless you're them or a close friend or close to that person in general. But going back to the main thought, what it kind of does is it makes you compare yourself and compare your life to their life, which I think sometimes can be good in a sense of, if you're following somebody, for example, and they're like a relationship TikTok person, couple, and their relationship is really healthy, or you follow somebody who teaches you how to set like boundaries in your relationship, how to like manifest your perfect love, which includes like somebody that's there for you, all the lovely stuff that maybe you've never had before. I think that's really, really beautiful in the sense of comparing, oh, I've never had that, so that's something that I'm aspiring to get or to have in my life. But then the other side of it is that we then compare our lives to theirs, and just moving some things around. And if our lives, like if you're not happy with your life at this current moment, it can maybe force you to actually reevaluate and re-examine your life so that you're somewhere that you want to be, right? But then what it can also do is make you really, really almost depressed, or reevaluate your life so much that you're comparing everything that you have or everything that you're doing to somebody else without knowing the full backstory. Like, for example, I'm going to use this example that's coming to my head. Like, we might look at certain celebrities and think, oh my god, they've got so much money, like they're living it up, they get all these, like they can buy all these houses, all these cars, not knowing that actually most of that stuff they get, it's actually given to them, meaning they don't have to spend any money. Some of them come from really rich families, which means that, again, money was never an issue, so they always had these things. You just now know who they are. Do you know what I mean? And because we don't know the whole story of somebody's life, and then we start comparing our life and our story to their story, it can breed a really unhealthy ground for your mental health, I truly believe. Because, as I said, you're comparing yourself to somebody, one, that you don't truly know. You don't know what's going on in their life behind closed doors and all of that. But also you don't know where they started. Because life isn't fair, and people have unfair advantages over others as well. So you might be looking at somebody's life and be like, oh my god, I want everything they have. Why is my life not like this? What, all of this, all of that, but not knowing that actually maybe a lot of the stuff that they have was given to them. And that was just like luck and the way that their life aligned at that moment in time, you know. And that's what my Substack post was about. It's about how we really take away our own achievements and our own happiness by comparing what we've done with somebody else. And I know some people might not do it as often as others. I know I've been very guilty of that. This, especially in the industry that I'm in. Good old show business, baby. We love it. We do love it. So we tend to compare a lot without knowing really what's going on and how they got to where they are, you know. And I think social media really aids that comparison, and comparison is the thief of joy. And I don't know if I said this in the last video, but like, your story is yours to create and yours to tell. So comparing what you're going through and what is happening to you to somebody else, it's not only just not productive at all for you, for your mental health, for your own story as well, because then you're stuck in this rut of comparison and of victim behaviour and victim mentality of, oh, nothing goes right for me, or nothing that I do is like perfect, or whatever bad thoughts you might say to yourself. And that's really not helpful, because that's not going to get you far. It's just going to get you stuck in this rut of constant overthinking and over-analysing and putting yourself down. And for what? Because you don't gain anything from it. Your brain gets this dopamine effect of trash talking itself, which is such a weird thing that happens, but it's true. Just get this 1 second. Yeah, your brain gets a dopamine effect of being mean to itself, which is quite just the crazy thing that's like the way that the brain works sometimes, you know. And we have to like train ourselves out of that constant negative thinking and negative outlook in life, because I am a true believer of like your words and the way that you speak to yourself and the way that you speak out loud are very powerful, and they come into fruition. And I say that because it's happened. I've said some bad stuff about like my life or my situations, as in bad stuff as in quite negative, and it's turned out negative. And every time I've had a positive outlook, it's turned out positive. And it sounds so, I think it sounds so simple, also with the day and age that we're at with tech and science and all of that. That the concept of just being like, no, I'll say that things will be fine and things will be fine. It sounds so simple that it's like, no, but it should be harder, it should be more difficult, like it shouldn't be that easy, that simple. But it is. But I think the hard thing is training your brain to really believe that positive outcomes do happen to you. It's not even that they can happen, it's that they do happen. It's changing also the way that you view yourself and your life and the way that life treats you. I think that's so important. Again, I say all of this because I've been there, done that. I could take a PhD in that, get a whole degree in it. But it comes to a point where it's not sustainable to be like that and to think like that. Sustainability's in 2025, guys. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I think just coming back to this thief comparison joy moment, we don't want it. That's why a lot of the time it's quite good just to literally focus on yourself and not focus on what other people are doing. Life isn't a race. We do make life seem like a race because we're comparing our story with somebody else, like somebody's life in terms of their career, maybe their love life might not peak, but it might start early, so they might get everything they want by like 23, let's say, or everything they think they want by 23, and some people that only happens when they're 50, when they're 60. You can't predict those things as to when they're going to happen, and also you can't compare those things to other people, because as I said and keep saying, or always say, it's your life, it's your story. It will always be different from other people. You can take inspiration. I think that's really beautiful, and that's where community comes in, by taking inspiration from like what other people have done, what they've achieved, how they've gone about their life. That's healthy, taking inspiration. But when that inspiration becomes a why not me, it's never going to happen to me, those negative thoughts that come in, that's when that's not going to help anybody. And it's not going to help anybody. It's only going to make you feel worse about yourself, and it's going to make you defeated and depleted and feel like your energy is so low that you don't want to do anything, so then you don't progress in your life the way that you want to. It's crazy how a positive thought can change your mind. And again, I'm saying this and it sounds so simple and so but it is really hard to always be positive and to be positive about yourself and about your situation, especially if those situations are very intense or they're not where you want to be, or it feels like you've been in that situation for years. And I get it. But there's huge power in just being more positive and having to train yourself to be more positive every single day with the way that you think, the way that you lead your life. It's crazy how the way that you think can really shift the way that you live life. I got an eyelash in my beautiful concealer, no, my beautiful blush. There. Gonna need a bit more. But yeah, that's usually what I post on Substack. It's a bit more deep, a bit more, should I say intense? They're just thoughts that I have. I have a lot of thoughts when I'm travelling, like literally on a moving vehicle. I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if you've got like a specific place where if you're like sat down, or in that place, like for example, some people it can be, I don't know, sat on a bench. Like all these thoughts come flooding in. For me, it's a moving vehicle. Something very therapeutic for me about that. And also this morning, before I even started filming, a butterfly landed right outside my window. And that's also like what I focus on, is like little signs from the universe. So seeing a butterfly land on my window, because I don't see that often, if at all. I think that was the first time I've ever actually seen that. So taking that as like an affirmation that yeah, the universe does love me, and everything that I'm doing is the right thing for me, and I'm on the right track and the right path, and my life is mine and nobody else's. So what I do to honour myself. Oh, that's a good affirmation. You can take it if you want. At the end of the day, good to remember that you need to honour yourself a bit more, especially if you're a people pleaser. And now we're gonna, yeah, today's look is still quite minimal. I always go a bit minimal. Can't really do a full face unless I'm going out or going to an event. Ow, ow. It's always so hard to get like a good curl on the eyelash. And I think also another thought that just popped into my head, we really should be less scared of failing. I don't even like the word failing, because if you don't fail, you don't try. And I think we've harbored a world where it seems like everyone is seeking perfection, which is funny because us humans, we're imperfect. We're not perfect. We will never be perfect. I think that even robots won't be perfect. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's such a thing as perfect, you know, in the true essence of that word. But we have created a world where it feels like failing is so embarrassing, or it's just not an option. We need everything to be like da, 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 da. I think that's so against our nature, and also it stops people from trying in every sense, in going after the person they want, in trying a new hobby that could potentially lead to unlocking something in them or in their career, in maybe making their millions, you know, in maybe meeting somebody that's going to change their life. Yeah, we're really scared to fail. And I think failing is a beautiful thing. I think failing is actually better than winning, because if you don't fail, you don't win. You can't have one without the other. Because life is all about balance. That's one truth. So you need to have the good to have the bad. You know? But in this day and age, it does feel very much illegal to fail. I think we need to get rid of that. Because also, so many start-up companies, they fail. I think that's the essence of a start-up company, is that it fails until one breaks through because it kept failing. And they realise what they need to do to change, to succeed. You know? So if you're waiting for a sign, whether to start something or make a move, take this as a sign. Literally my favourite colour combo, my favourite lip combo. Oh, NYX Mauve and Cappuccino from Rimmel. A cool tone dream. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Now, I'm going to put these for, no, I'm going to get some oil. That smells so good. Still have that oil residue, but it's fine. Then to finish it off with my favourite earrings. I feel like I say that about every pair of earrings, especially if they're big. But these are one of my favourites. Thank you for watching, and I hope that my little thoughts helped you maybe navigate a situation in your life that you might be going through, that you might have been going through, or that you might go through at some point. Because this thing called life, she's difficult. But I think the way that we look at it and the way that we react to life is one thing we can control and can make the situations a lot easier. And I shall see you next week, or maybe the week after, or maybe the week